live.
Welcome. How are you
Welcome.
today?
I am really well. I chose to sit outside, mostly because my soulmate's inside doing his conference calls, but
Okay.
I have a fig tree. I don't know if you
Oh,
can see it behind me.
beautiful.
Yeah. And it's beautiful. It has some tiny figs. I thought, well, how goddessy fig trees. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It When we bought this house, it was the dead of winter. And so this tree just looked like a bunch of dead sticks, branches, and I almost thought of cutting it down. And
Yeah. Yeah.
somebody who was inspecting the house said, "Oh, you have a fig tree." And I went, "What?"
Awesome.
So just another one of those surprises
Yeah.
that Gaia gives us.
Right. And well, we have a frangipani that does the same thing. Like all the leaves fall off of it in the fall.
Yeah.
And this is actually the first year that she is really happy. She's really happy. She's got so many leaves on her, and they came so much earlier in the season than they have in the previous seasons. And so this was a gift
Yeah.
from my friend Erin. It's so
Yeah.
she's been growing with us for several years, and Steve put her into the earth about a year and a half, 2 years ago, and now
Yeah.
she's very happy. I'm gazing at her right now. That's why I keep looking up.
Yeah. No, that's great. That's great.
So speaking of these trees and plants and the gifts of the earth, we're talking about gula today and healing. And I know for me that that's being outside in nature and communing with Mother Earth is very, one of my go-to
Mhm.
healing practices. So let's talk about gula a little bit and how we can begin to aspect or invoke and connect to her.
Yeah, yeah. Well, like I was saying before we went live, I wanted to explore Gula a little bit more because when you see the word healing
Mm-hmm.
and that this is the goddess of medicine and healing, what came to my mind immediately? And I think in our tribe, we are healers. So many of us
Mm-hmm.
really do practice energy healing, herbal medicine,
Yeah.
crystal healing, you name it, all of those kind of ethereal, as some people would
Mm-hmm.
think. And what other modes happen to come into play? And yesterday, when I was talking about our Tuesday tools, the dogs came up, and I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't, it wasn't in my vernacular to think about animals in that way. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
we think of the equine therapy,
Yeah.
goat yoga. I don't, but I just
Eh.
never really thought about dogs in the way that they had back in the
Yeah.
Babylonian times.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I thought that was fascinating to me. And that then got me thinking, when we invoke our divine goddess, what we think about what our gifts are, what are our innate go-tos, shall we
Yeah.
say.
Yeah.
And
For
for
sure.
I know many in our group, dogs, cats, animals are their go-to for healing.
Yes.
And that was fascinating to me. I
Well, and
don't
I
know what
think we're
else you have to
seeing,
say about that,
yeah,
but
yeah. I think that we're seeing, that is coming into more and more of the present day awareness, the gift of the animal medicine, right? And
yeah.
what they give to the people that are there to receive them. I have a lovely young lady that is friends with my son that she has her dog, and she's a support animal for her, and it's emotional support. It's not visual, or which we've seen throughout at least all
Mm-hmm.
my lifetime. And so
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate seeing that medicine is becoming
Being
more
acknowledged, yeah.
acknowledged. Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, because obviously our psychological state, our mental state affects our physical state.
Well,
And
yeah.
we're dealing with
Hmm.
a pandemic right now of
Right.
a
Right.
physical
Right.
virus, and everybody is searching for a medicine, searching for a cure, a vaccination or whatever. And
well, and we have a
what
lot
else are
of
we looking for?
our, mental and emotional aspects energetically that are being, engaged here, that
Yeah.
we are getting to really process and learn about ourselves and honor what's showing up, and honor it in love ultimately.
Mm-hmm.
And I can say that my time in Texas over the last few years really opened me up to the magic of the animal medicine, working with Sylvia and her herd. So yeah,
Yeah. Tell
it's
us a little bit
really,
about what you
well, I mean,
experienced and observed.
all I can share with you is my what happened for me, just being with her herd, and watching how they interacted with us as a as an organic system. Like we were all working that energy together, and when they would arrive, it would be with whatever subject we were discussing in that moment, with whomever it is that was
Right.
sharing, and it was really magical, really beautiful, and it was life-changing for me to see that and
Yeah.
to experience that. um yeah, I don't know that I have much more to say about that, because it was such an
Hmm.
experiential, it's hard to put it to words, but
Well,
grateful,
yeah,
grateful, grateful, grateful for that opportunity to have been gifted the experience.
I know that they use equine therapy in, of course, physical therapy for people that
Mm-hmm.
need that, but
Yeah.
for people in recovery and
Mm-hmm.
to establish trust.
Yeah.
Here is a rather large
Yeah.
being,
Yeah. And
and just to approach it.
I have a nonprofit that I was working with, doing some drum circling with recently, that before everything started to go into pause, we had our first drum
Mhm.
circle, and their program is based in equine, and working with veterans, and gifting them this time for healing with these animals, and it's really beautiful. So like I said, it's been something that spirit has gifted me over the last couple of years, is this opportunity to see this magic, even if it's not mine to work. I get to observe it, and I'm so grateful for that.
That's interesting that you say that it's yours to observe and acknowledge and all
Mm-hmm.
that, because sometimes we, like I was saying, what's your go-to mode of healing?
Mm-hmm.
We we tend to, oh well, that's not going to work, or
Mm-hmm.
do do I really think I could do Reiki or sound healing or anything like that? And if it speaks to you, it does, and invoke that
Yeah.
Gula energy, that,
Yeah.
and don't just say, oh, that's not for me or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if it truly doesn't resonate with you in that level, that you still be open to receiving that
Yeah.
energy and be aware that it is possible,
Mm-hmm.
that, and uh, be open to that
Yeah.
mode.
Yeah.
I just wish people were a little more, I guess, the people in the world, but what do they call it, Harry Potter? The Muggles, if they could just embrace the
Well,
magic,
I do think that there's more and more
it's
people coming
magic.
to that. Yeah, I think that we are seeing a
I
trend of people being more open to, other modalities of healing on a whole. And that's beautiful.
Well, and we're going to need it. I mean, we're coming
Mhm.
out of this pandemic, and there are a lot of people who haven't really been physically
Mhm.
affected, because
Mhm.
uh, we haven't all been had the virus, but certainly our mental state,
Mhm. Absolutely.
uh, relationships are going to be needing healing.
Yeah.
We've been forced to really look inward and look at ourselves in the
Mhm.
mirror, because we've been with
Mhm.
ourselves without any distraction,
Yeah.
what needs healing in ourselves. And that's one reason I'm really looking forward to the new moon too,
Yeah.
because when you think about, okay, what do I want to do going forward,
Yeah.
what needs healing, what this is the time to
Well,
be
and I
thinking
would,
about that.
yeah, and I would really invite those of you who are observing this, or watching this with us today, that you gift us in the comments, what are your go-to modes of healing
Yeah.
modalities? I know for me, yoga, really working with vibration, whether it's chanting, whether it's crystal bowls, Reiki is probably my number one go-to for supporting me on my healing journey. Taking the journey with the shadows, observing my archetypes that are showing up and being witness to them, and really honoring them. And I'm really big into feel it to heal it. So if I can lean into really feeling what's showing up, gazing upon it with the eyes of a witness rather than a judge, judging myself for being there,
Exactly.
then that really gifts me the opportunity to grow and expand beyond that moment, and to take what I'm gaining out of that to the next level. I have been so gifted, so blessed over the past few years to encounter such magical healers in the ways of animals and plant and shamanic traditions and Reiki traditions, and there's so many traditions that you could lean into. It's about finding the language that speaks to you, is how I see healing. Is that there's no one way. There's many paths to spirit and to self-exploration. Mine are very committed to yoga and energy work. That is exactly where I feel at home, and it really speaks to my truth. So how about you, Paige? Where do you feel like you lean into for your healing modalities?
Yeah, that's funny that you asked, because I never really considered myself a healer. That was what you did. That's what the other people did. So I guess earlier I was speaking more to myself when things come to me and I think, oh, that's not for me. I can't do that. I'm a communicator. I find healing, well, obviously I find healing in nature, in the beach, and that energy. I mean, I just know if something isn't right, if I can go out to the beach and stick my feet in the water or the sand, or just go out there and take a look really quick and then, go on about my day. That's healing for me. So I guess to communicate that energy for me in my photographs and in my podcast, and talking about that, trying to find the words that way that would heal. Maybe I recorded a meditation. Well, I wrote a meditation that I want to record about walking out into the beach and walking out into the water and that sort of thing, to set up a visualization. For me, that's healing for me, and that's kind of my go-to sort of thing. Journaling, anything that's spoken or written language, that sort of thing is and sound. Music, playing the bowls, all of that definitely resonates with me. Oh, there's a monarch butterfly going by.
Beautiful.
And that's my go-to.
Yeah,
really.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, like we said before, we honor, and I have a butterfly joining me now as well. We honor all the paths to healing, all the paths to support, and we're really excited to see our goddess tribe share their magic with us, because that's, at the end of the day, that's it. We want to hear what you're doing and how you lean into finding more ease, love, peace in yourself.
Yeah, and it's you're all about the journey, and this is a journey. So after this week, we don't just stop our healing practice or whatever. We're going to continue to explore it. So I do encourage people, continue to share. Say, hey, I got into this this one modality thinking, I don't know, but it's really working for me. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to know how you're journeying through this.
Yeah. Yeah.
That helps me. And
Awesome.
we just love all of you in the group. I'm just so grateful for everybody and grateful for you, Ramona, for
I'm grateful for you,
taking
Paige.
this journey with me together.
Yes, I am really tremendously grateful for what we've been able to step into. As we said before, our intention was to start this on March 21st anyway. It just happened to be that this was also like when everything shifted in our world. So it was divine timing for sure, and Goddess was
Oh yeah.
leading the way. And
Mm-hmm.
we're seeing so much abundance of interaction with you all. We're really grateful for that. So we just can look forward to what we're going to keep creating with you. So Friday night is
Absolutely.
going to be
Yeah.
our new moon goddess gathering. So if you haven't registered, please be sure to go in and register to join us, and you'll get a link to meet us on Zoom at 6:30 Friday night Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
Until then, we love you, we honor
Mm-hmm.
you, we see you, we hear you. We hope that you have a beautiful rest of your day, friends.
Mm-hmm.
Namaste.
Bye.
Blessed be.
Namaste.